Back in 2017, I was reading a book and it suggested that I take an online strength assessment. I did it and I was so astonished by the result. They were so me, as in they were describing me, and I was so clear on what are my strengths and how I pursue life after that totally changed. Then this week, I had a conversation with a people's coach and she talked about her again taking a similar assessment. The results made her life take a different trajectory.
Then I did my strength assessment and my life completely shifted.
I have a question for you. Does this describe you?
Frustrated with work, stonewalling other people, being disengaged in the office, feeling stuck. You have no plan for your career, not performing.
If that describes you, or sometimes describe how you are at work, this conversation is going to be mind-blowing. Today I have a special guest, as you have heard, and we're going to discuss everything to do with coaching, strength coaching, how you can use that to your advantage. She also recommends some books that you can be able to read. I wouldn't want to take so much of your time. Let's get straight into the interview. And I know when we were doing the recording, we had a bit of some echo, but that does not distort the message. Let's get into this insightful and jam-packed conversation. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Very happy to have you here.
I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you. Maybe I can give you a chance. You can introduce yourself, tell us what you do and what you engage in before we get to the questions.
All right, my name is Syria Rama. I am a development guru, or if you would like to call it a coach. I coach individuals, I do training, so I train teams in the corporate space. I even train people on a one-on-one. So I'm all about people and developing people.
That is nice and nice to have you. Let me just ask, for a professional who wants to grow in their career, what would you say, why is coaching important?
Coaching is important because, in my view, it helps individuals navigate their career. It helps give clarity to cloudiness. It helps give clarity to maybe something you're not clear about in your career. It helps you see things from a different lens, because we're so used to thinking we know everything. So when you get a coach, you find somebody who can help you see things clearly, who can help you figure yourself out.
Okay.
That is basically what I would say, why coaching. Yeah.
Okay. I know you also do strength coaching. Maybe you can give us a sneak preview, like what is this strength coaching and how is it different from any other form of coaching?
All right. The difference between strength coaching and regular coaching is that when you do strength coaching, you have taken an assessment, first of all. I can't just guess. You have to know your strengths, and then once we know your strengths, we go about coaching to achieve your goal, but we are using your strengths as a backdrop. We are looking at what are you good at? How are you wired? What is it you enjoy doing? Because when you enjoy something, you do it very well. And so strength coaching is based on an underlying knowledge of your strengths. Once you have that underlying knowledge, then we're able to see, in this situation, this is how you react. In this other situation, this is how you react. We also get to understand what your needs are. Because everybody has needs, but they are different needs. So I will have a different set of needs from you. And once I know what your needs are, I don't have to expect them from my line manager, from my family, from my spouse. I can feed my own needs. I can make sure that I'm not frustrated, I'm not in toxicity. It's a way to help you self-manage. The second thing is, once you know your strengths, you can chart your career. Because, for example, you're sitting in operations, but you're very outgoing. You should be in marketing. So once you know your strengths, you're able to begin having a discussion about how do you move your career into marketing, or if that's not possible, how do you make use of your strengths in your current job? Yeah, so that's the key difference. But in terms of achieving your goals, you still get to achieve your goals through coaching.
Good. So, as a professional, what are some of the challenges that they face or some situation they find themselves in? And it is a clear indicator that you need some coaching so that you can help someone who is here watching and following through. They want maybe to get to coaching. At what point or what is the indicator that, yeah, I think at this point I will need someone to help me or coach me through this part?
Number one, when you're frustrated. When you're frustrated with work, when you're stonewalling other people, when you are identified as being disengaged in the office, when you don't know what steps to take, so you're feeling stuck, when, for example, you have no plan for your career, you don't know the direction you're going, you're just in this vehicle or in this bus and you're being moved, and also when you're not performing. So your performance is poor, you're feeling frustrated, you dread waking up in the morning to go to that job. Then you know there's a problem, I need to speak someone, I need to seek help.
Right. So someone is feeling disengaged, they are feeling frustrated, they don't seem to enjoy what they are doing. It is important for them to get coaching, right? But before even they get the coaching, I think that would be one of the steps they can take. What other practical step can you advise someone to take?
Well, they need to do an assessment, number one, of themselves before you even say, who am I reaching out to? It doesn't have to be a coach that you reach out to at the first instant. Talk to somebody, anybody, right? Somebody who will listen. It could be either your manager, it could be a colleague, it could be someone who you are comfortable with to have this conversation about what is going on, that you feel there's a problem. And then do maybe a SWOT analysis and say, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, and figure out which direction then do I start having this conversation. You could also just do an assessment and say, this cannot go on. I'm struggling. Once you accept that you're struggling, then you are putting yourself in a space to say, I need help. When you agree with yourself in that self-meeting that you need help, then you will reach out to somebody, a coach, a mentor, a friend, somebody who is in a senior position and will guide you.
Yes.
And then you can say, okay, maybe I need to take an assessment. Maybe it could even be that there's something completely different that doesn't require a coach but requires counseling. So just having that conversation with yourself and accepting that, look, I'm not in a good space. I don't feel like waking up in the morning. I don't feel like going to work. You're having trouble engaging with people in the workplace. Your performance really, and performance is a key indicator. When you're not performing, it means you're not enjoying your job, either because you don't know it, because you're not applying your strengths to that particular job. And so just getting to a space where you're thinking through what you're going through, and then simply do some research about what a solution could be. So you could come up with coaching. You could simply read a book and begin to change, right? But then, then after that, after doing some research, maybe you don't even know your goals. So you're in this bus traveling to Mombasa, but you find yourself in Kisumu. You need to sit and take the right bus to go to Mombasa, right? Or you need to decide on a flight to Mombasa. So clarity is key, and then coming up with a vision.
Right.
Setting your goals to say, okay, I am an entry-level clerk with a master's degree. I have masters in HR and I'm sitting in operations. How do I get into HR. So you must have a plan. If you come up with a plan, it may or may not include a coach, but having a plan is a plan not to fail. Because if you don't have a plan, then you're planning to fail. It's been said many times, but it's the truth. You need a plan.
I really like that. And just a reminder that failing to plan is actually planning to fail. So all this, taking an assessment that will help you identify what area of help you need. And I'm glad you said a coach is not always the next solution, but there are other local solutions, talking to someone, maybe your boss, your friend, and all that. And I'm quite impressed. I also want to know, like, from you, how did you get into this field of coaching, training, mentoring, and doing all this great stuff that you're doing?
Well, I was a banker at some point in my life. I've been in customer service. I've been in debt collection, despite people not believing. And then I happened to have a great boss who identified that I had a skill or a strength in training, and a role was created for me. And then while on that role, I made sure I did all the research that I could. Remember, I'm now enjoying training. So I did the research. I started volunteering in the training department. I started preparing myself for when the opportunity arrived. And so I was ready when the opportunity came to move into HR. So when I moved into HR, then I began to do some more studies. So I studied HR, I studied learning and development. And then at some point I took up coaching. And then I did my strength assessment and my life completely shifted. After doing the strength assessment, then I got into a program called the People Acuity Program and got certified to become a People Acuity Coach, which is the same as a strength coach. And that's how I found myself really supporting people. Not that I didn't support people before that, but now I had the credentials. And people like credentials.
Right.
But credentials is just a piece of paper. The knowledge and the experience is also important. So I find that people tell me I'm approachable. And people just began coming to talk to me, seeking advice. And one day somebody told me, I think you can be a very good coach. And that is how I said, jump into this, do some research, and I really enjoy it. It actually gives me a lot of energy. You can feel the energy in my voice, right?
For sure. You mentioned that you did the strength assessment and your life changed from there. Maybe tell us, what was this assessment about and how did your life changed from there?
All right. I took the Gallup assessment in 2014. And what happened was, first of all, I thought it was witchcraft because it was very, very true to who I was. Number one, I'm always smiling. So at some point in my life before that, I used to think, what is wrong with you? How can you always be so happy? And so, you're just always laughing and looking for opportunities to laugh. When I did this assessment, my top strength was positivity. So it helped me to understand that there's nothing wrong with me. This is how I am wired. This is how I see the world. And then my other strengths included development, being a developer, and being a communicator. So I happen to be one of the lucky people who found myself in a role that allowed me to use my strengths to full capacity. So discovering this only grounded my firm belief in knowing that I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing what I love, I enjoy it, and so I can only work towards being better at it to maximize my potentials. When I see my life change, it sort of gave me validation that you're actually doing what you're wired to do.
That is super great. Maybe without mentioning names, you can share with us maybe a success story of somebody you are able to coach them or take them through the strength coaching and they ended up on the other side way better, quite a success just from the coaching program.
Oh wow, I do have a success story. And funny enough, because this person is one of their strengths is to be an activator, meaning they take something and run with it. I took a friend of mine who I had mentored a long time ago when she really wanted to get into HR.
Yes.
And over the years, we had opportunities to work together, very, very limited opportunities, I would say.
Okay.
A few years ago, I took her through this assessment. And the minute she got that validation that, wow, this is me, I can tell you today she's doing more than I am doing. She is thriving. She's even become a strengths coach, taken the program that helps you help other people to use their strengths. So they found their validation in learning and development. They found their validation in being an excellent trainer. Funny enough, in that first conversation, they were like, I don't think I ever want to become a coach. Today, they are a strengths coach on top of everything else that they do. So I feel very excited. I find fulfillment in knowing that if I didn't help hundreds of people, that one person helps me keep going and knowing that it really works. And of course, I have many other examples, but this one is just an amazing example. And we didn't really get deep into the coaching, but because she's a learner and she loves to read, she went and did all of this research and dived deep into just following her path and knowing her style. And the results are amazing. She's at her full potential.
That is quite interesting. And just hearing what you're saying, and also your story yourself, like you are a success story of strength coaching, and now this other person that you're able to assist. Shortly, we will be able to share your contact details if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how they can be able to get in touch with you. But before we go there, I know as a leader or as you do your coaching, personal development is a big part of it. So maybe you can share with us any personal development book you have read that have had a big impact in your life, and maybe how you can share with us.
All right. I think I will give the example of two books. One is called Shift Up, and it's written by Steve Jeffs and Deanna Murphy.
Okay.
It is a strengths-based book. So if you're interested in strength, it will help you just discover so much about yourself and knowing your strengths and how you can apply them and how you can increase your productivity, increase your passion, increase your potential. That really worked for me. And then number two, I love Brené Brown. So I'd ask people, pick up any Brené Brown book. I started with Daring Greatly, and it helped me to understand things about myself, about being vulnerable and being able to be confident about saying, I don't know, I need help. And that is powerful because we are all unique. You're better at me at doing something, and I'm better at someone else at doing something. The moment we can accept that I'm not very good at this thing, but somebody else is, and I can go and ask for help, that is powerful because it means you collaborate, you work interdependently, and you're able to do more for others, for each other, and for the general society.
Great. Sorry, I didn't get the first name. The name of the first book is
Shift Up.
Oh, Shift Up. Shift Up.
Yes, Shift Up. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. I'm not sure if it's available locally, but online it is available.
Super. Then someone listens to this conversation. They're so interested. They think like, oh, I need to get in touch with Syrian Rama. I would want her probably to be my coach, or we can start that contact. How can someone get in touch with you?
Well, I'm in the middle of doing very many things just to set up, my website and all of that. But in the meantime, you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. I'm quite easily accessible on LinkedIn. That's how we connected. And then I don't know if I should be putting my number on YouTube, but I think LinkedIn would be the best. You can give me a call, send me a message on LinkedIn or my social media sites, and I will be happy to connect.
yeah, I actually got in touch with you through LinkedIn. That is how we connected, and I think that is the best platform to get in touch.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward for us still doing more and learning from you and also spreading the word. Thank you very much. I really I'm happy to have you on board. If you enjoyed this conversation, also take a look at this series of videos, me having conversation with other coaches you will find valuable. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until my next video, I'm out.